Here's my Hustler replacement. Told you I wasn't screwing around. Got it on Craigslist for $1,000. ZT1 42 stamped deck, exploding Kohler, 7,000. Don't know how many hours are on it because they don't come with an hour meter. But these were $24.99 new back in the day, and now we got inflation. They're like $34.99. Ridiculous. You could have got a ZT2 with 2800 hydros for like 28. I'm just kidding. This is in for service. I'm going to do a full service on it, and I'm doing it basically for free. Well, in exchange for some chocolate chip cookies. No, I'm not lying. So here we go. Call it a full detail for retail. So I'm just going to walk around and give you some close-up shots of the before. And then we'll do a little after later on. I'm surprised they come with those. I think these are EZT transmissions, either ZT2100 or 2200. So I'm not sure the year model of this, but we'll figure it out here soon. I'll tell you something though. These arms right here, they're adjustable, and they got this foam grip similar to the Bobcat, and these are similar to the Bad Boy, but I'll tell you what, these are more robust. Cub Cadet's got more robust control arms than the Bobcats and the Bad Boys. Now this deck is pretty crappy, but when these rust out down here, you replace the spindles. They're pretty cheap. You can get them at Tractor Supply. You can even get idler pulley kits there, bearings, whatnot. But when these decks rust out, you just replace the deck. It'd be nice if it was a fabricated deck, but it is what it is. Like I said, we're going to check the tire pressure and all that jazz. Just wanted to give it a quick little overview here. Let's pop the seat up real quick. Obviously, there's no tension on here, so the seat will just go flying forward. You got to be really careful. Make sure there's enough slack in the safety here. But not too bad. Again, we're going to check the deck, check the pulleys. Already removed pulley covers here. We need to clean out some debris. We got some debris here, some debris there. Probably a bunch of debris on the other side that wasn't blown off. But I'll remind the owner next time. Oh yeah, look at it. It's real thick in there, all caked up back in there. But we're going to go over this thing and give her the old tune-up, clean her up, and bring her back to the owner probably tomorrow. Should be, I'll call this the overnighter here. It's about 9:30, almost 10 o'clock here. So I'll be working on this for the next couple hours. I'm going to jam out some tunes, and if there's any cool little snippets I can include, we'll include them in this video. Ew. That is dull, and it still cuts better than a damn Hustler. See if you guys can hear this. Tire moving side to side. Watch up here. Oh boy. Well, this is a messy shit show. I'm surprised they actually got Zerks on here. Really cool. But it is just a bushing. There's no bearings in the front. So I pulled it out, completely wiped the grease off of it. And for whatever reason, the grease is barely going in this Zerk. But there's enough on the bushing now. I'm using some Exxon XHP, I think it is, too, which is overkill for this. But, I mean, that's just how we roll. Alright, so that's what it looks like. And when you remove the nut and the cap, you get a little spring washer under here. See if I can get it to focus. That's really cool. Excuse the background noise. But there are bearings in here. There's a bearing here, and here's the spindle here, the fork assembly, whatever you want to call it. And there's a nice bearing in the bottom. And this is actually very thick metal, very thick caster here on a ZT1. I'm actually impressed so far with Cub Cadet. Alright, so it turns out this slop in here has got the little, it's because of that little spring washer. So this is the one that's untouched, which isn't bad. And here's the one I just greased. We won't discount the waviness of the tire, but you see that it's still spinning. and it's nice and quiet. Love this Exxon grease. All right, wait for it, wait for it. Mmm, yummy. All right, going in clean on one side and out the other side. Ew. Oh, yeah. Ew. We won't say what that looks like. Very distinct lip. And this thing's been used for about a year. Level and nice and sharp. Old school. That's how we do it. So of course the air filter needs to be replaced, but I'm also seeing up in here, up here in the heads, see all that grass in there? We need to get that stuff out of there. That's a fire hazard. Well, this might be overkill cleaning out these heads, but it's just general maintenance I think everybody should do. Kohler 7000 is a little bit harder than the Kawasaki, especially the FX that has clean out ports. Even on the FR 691s and whatnot, you can remove the shroud and get down to the heads, and that's what I did on the 7000. So Kohler 7000, first thing you want to do is remove that air cleaner lid, which sits right here. And then on the sides, you'll see little screws, one on each side over here. And then there's two more. You have to fold the seat forward. There's two more screws here. All you have to do is loosen those just enough so that these can slide off. All right. Now come over here to where the air cleaner is, and you've got three screws right here. Those need to come out completely. Once you remove these three screws that hold the shroud on, there's a little breather tube, a little plastic breather tube that connects right here on the fuel pump that goes down to the valve cover. Just slowly pull this off. I know we're in and out of focus here. Slowly pull this off, and then you should have just enough room, just enough slack in these fuel lines to pull them to the side where you can just lift this cover off and just bring it right over to the side like that. You should lift it up gently. And now what you want to do is come over here and get you a flashlight and look down in the heads right here. And right in there, you'll get a bunch of grass that piles up in all these little cavities, especially where the fins are, the heat sinks, if you will, the air fins on the heads. Grass will pile up in there, and it's a good idea to just blow it out or get a little soft wire nylon brush or something gently, a little tie wrap or something, just to agitate it and then blow it all out and clean all those heads. It'll keep the engine cooler, it'll increase longevity, and it'll also reduce a fire hazard. Something you don't have to do, but it is recommended in some engines. If it's not in the manual, check the service manual. Sometimes they don't want you going this far with it, but if this is out of your realm of repair, definitely next time you take it in or have somebody come over to do maintenance or do like a 100-hour service or something, definitely make sure that they do this. Most good mechanics will, but there you go. All right, Joe homeowner, Mr. Mechanic, weekend warrior. I'm just going to change my air filter. I changed it and then my engine died. Well, that's because when you took off your air filter, you were careless and you let a little bit of dirt go down into the intake, into the carburetor. It's not very good. Over time, you know, I could shorten a engine life, that's for sure. But anyways, here's something I like to do that works on this Cub Cadet in particular. You see my flashlight shining down on that butterfly? Well, what you do is you just reach over here to the throttle and you put it up in the choke mode. Boom, you see that butterfly close like that? So that's less of a chance of dirt getting down into the engine, past into the carburetor. If some dirt drops down there, at least you can scoop it up, clean it up, and it won't go into the engine. In other words, the engine won't ingest it. If it gets past that stage, or you drop a nut or a bolt in there, then you're taking the carburetor apart. But something as simple as this, just taking your time. Don't do this outside when it's windy. All this stuff will blow around, get all over the place. You really want to be careful and take your time and go slow. Changing an air filter. I know it sounds simple, but this is where a lot of people can get into trouble. And I take it a step further. This is what I normally do very carefully. Put like a shop towel or something down in there so it'll prevent anything else from flowing down in there. Then you can blow this out, wipe it down. You can be a little bit careless, but then when it comes time, make sure that none of the dirt is falling in here, and as you're pulling this out, it goes back down inside. So simple steps, but sometimes people overlook these, or like I said, they get in a hurry, and they actually, it would have been better off leaving the filter on in this instance, even though it's dirty, rather than taking it off, being careless, and letting some dirt get down into the carburetor. There we go, much better. Did I just detail where the air filter goes? I sure did. So here's something else. Make sure when you put these on, one, you got to be gentle with them because they will just rip right off. These are very delicate little foam things. I like to use them, especially when you're in a dusty environment. They do help. But make sure that it sits, always pinch the top and the bottom like this. Just pinch it a little bit, make sure it's down and it's laying inside of this metal screen. Just squeeze it, push down, and then release. And then what it does is it pushes up against this lip here on the top and the bottom, and then expands and creates a tight seal. If you just put this thing on half-ass and you've got it pulled over like that, overlap, then dirt can get right into these little crevices right up in there. And that defeats the purpose of this thing. So, like I said, squish it. I know the camera's in and out of focus, but squish it like so. Just make sure it's in the track there, and then see right there, you can see it's dipping down into that notch, so it's creating a tighter seal, and that's what you want. Don't half-ass this, because then you're going to half-ass your engine. And I know you guys are going to leave comments down below. You're like, is this really necessary? Like, you're friggin' anal. Is that how you do things? I'm like, yeah, that's how we roll here. I didn't know there was any other way. You thought I was done, right? When you put these on, feel the lip, feel where it goes on, feel the groove, press it down, work it around, push down on all the outer edges. Make sure this thing is sitting level and flush. Reach with your fingers back here. Make sure there's no gaps. It's not on cockeyed or hung up on something, and then all the dirt's going in there. So make sure everything's level. Feel with your fingers, yada yada. Something so simple can shorten the life of your engine tremendously. So slow down, take your time, do it right. What happened? Brand new plugs, just throw them in. No, gap them. Check the gap. If you got a gap tool, feeler gauge, whatever. 30 thousandths on these. Make sure they're right. Don't slack off. All right, new fuel filter. Old one's down there. There it goes. Man, that oil's clean. Those look like metal shavings, but they're actually bubbles. This mother was on there. Holy shit! There's no reason for that to be on that damn tight. Look at that crap. Look at the marks that tool left digging in on all those corners. Dented the shit out of this thing. Trying to pull that off. That's nuts. This is the first time I've actually seen this. They actually give you instructions here on how to prime your filter. Fill to the base of threads with clean oil. Wait 2 minutes for it to absorb. Of course, You oil the gasket, and then when it makes contact, tighten 3/4 of one turn. Wow, I've never seen that before. That's kind of cool. All right, while we wait for that to suck oil, we're gonna go put the drain plug back on. Synthetic blend, 1030. Right on the dot. Well, this is all you get. Sorry I've been busy, but this is the final product. Just a quick walk around here, about to take it back to the customer. Gave it a little wipe down, of course, full tune up. Deck is warped. It's pretty bad shape, but gave it a little detail for retail here, and off she goes. So more to follow. All right, guys, thanks for watching.